Okay, welcome to a little introduction to the gist of Chapter 10. We're talking about functions. Now, the idea of a function is you have an input, a process, and then an output. Input, process, output. Guess a good example would be you put time into this class, you get a grade out of this class. You put your 8 weeks in, you get credit for the class. I know you must be thinking about that. Or maybe someone has an energy drink and they're putting it in their body and they're getting work out of their body. There are a lot of applications of functions in our world. Of course, one of them we think about is manufacturing. All of these supplies, all of the raw materials, all of the processes, and the product. So we understand that. You think about your life at home or in the dorm. You have several devices you're plugging into your outlet at home. You have different appliances and so forth. You're getting a different output for the input. Or perhaps we're thinking about the digital world that we find ourselves in. All of these devices and all of these forms of being able to get information in to either a website or a photo or you name it, and getting something out of it. When we think about maybe more academic things or things related to our gaining knowledge in this world, we realize that the study of nature and the mathematical component to the workings of nature are really a big part of science and scientific knowledge. So when we think about an object being thrown up in the air and the path that it takes, we can understand this using mathematics. There are so many examples of things that happen in life. Of course, we could talk about sound waves or electromagnetic waves, and that's related to your cell phone and all of the digital communication that we could find that way. Of course, one of the questions we could ask is, why is nature uniform and how we can study it? That's a philosophical question. That's a good question to ask, and we need to be asking questions like that. So here's an example of a quadratic function. So here we have the World Cup going on, and we have our Pele soccer player there, and he's kicking the ball. And notice it has the shape of the path of the ball is a quadratic or a parabolic curve. Now, when we think about it, the kicker could have kicked it higher. It could have came down shorter distance from where he was at. He could have kicked it a longer distance. He could have kicked it maybe, well, he's over here. He could have kicked it faster like a football player throwing the football, okay? So it could have had much of a less of an arc. Could have had more of an arc. We can go on and on with the possibilities of just the simple path of a soccer ball. And so when we think about it, they're all the general shape of a parabolic curve, but there's a wide variety of these, and that is the idea of a transformation, which we'll be talking about later. So those are some things that we need to be aware of when we're talking about functions. And so good luck in studying this, and I'll post some more videos as we go from time to time. Best wishes.